targeted to people in Southern California, or will be?
No, Southern California.
Okay, universal on the site. So somebody in Boston wouldn't see a Metrolink ad.
No, they would.
They
There's
might.
nothing. It's not going to hurt it. If you go on the site right now, you'll see a Grand Canyon ad. You know, we felt that it's, you know, what's the harm? You know, somebody may be coming out of Southern California. We're going to give them awareness. We got Metrolink out here. And you know, the thing is, what's nice about this, it's a controlled environment. So when you look at the 2,000 companies or 8,000 companies that we're going to promote to, we can do the direct email to them. We can send out an entire promotional kit or promotional campaign electronically, which is huge. Yes, sir.
Yeah. With all the transit authorities, is all the money just coming from MTA, or is it all of it coming from different transit authorities marketing and ad budgets?
Well, you know, it's interesting. What we've done, since when you look at a lot of the marketing campaigns that we've done historically, you know, $43,000 is a drop in the bucket. And you know, $43,000, what we're going to get on return is going to be huge. You know, I sat there and I had presented to the board, and I told them, I said, you know, $43,000, we're going to get this. And when you look at the collateral material, 100,000 rack brochures, this direct mailing list, everything else, that's $43,000, $3,500 a month roughly. All we got to do, get this, all we have to do is sell 12 monthly passes per month, and we break even. It's huge. When you look at the return on investment, 12 monthly passes, if we sell them per month, we break even. So when you look at this campaign, it's more of a standalone campaign right now. We're going to promote our partner agencies, because at the end of the day, agencies own us. You know, they're part of Metrolink. So we're going to promote all of them and connect them. But at the same time, like I told Metro, I told OCTA, you're going to be part of this program. But you all have your own corporate program, and if you want to enhance it, what I'd recommend is launching your own Wild at Work site, leveraging us and putting us together. We'll operate in separate entities, but we'll leverage each other. And I've already gone to this company and say, hey, look, we got the main platform, offer it to them for $20,000. So, you know, everybody's excited about it, because all of a sudden, we basically teed it up for them. So,
And the fare box revenue that comes in from Metrolink is collected by the transit authority, though, and distributed back to Metrolink.
correct, it goes, yeah, Metrolink collects that. I mean, you know.
Oh, Metrolink collects it?
Well, it affects our fare box collection right now. If we are consistent with where we're at, with what we're charging right now, every 1% of our increase of ridership increases our fare collection box by 0.5%. Okay. However, moving forward, we're looking at yield management. We're looking at, you know, I want to load the trains on the weekends. You know, I'm looking at right now offering a system-wide pass for like $9. That's good on Saturday and Sunday. You know, and just to be able to offer to people, be able to go system-wide for $9. I'm looking at, you know, how do you, you know, 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock, our trains are empty. Let's cut a deal, gets people on board. Because once again, you know, I'm a firm believer, if people ride the train, they're going to talk about the train. So what do we do? Because right now, our core competency is the commuters. So we got the AM and the PM maxed out, but in between it's empty. It's historically been that way. So what do we do to create some type of demand? And when you look at other things, I mean, we're talking to San Manuel Casino at the end of the San Bernardino line. And you know, one thing that we had a history of, let's do a promotion where, you know, if somebody comes up with a Metrolink ticket, we'll give you a discount. I came from a different world. It's like, okay, how do we create demand for the train? You know, how do we create demand for our product? So basically, we went to San Manuel and said, I'll tell you what, we'll discount our tickets slightly during non-peak hours. And you know what, why don't you throw in what you normally do, $20 worth of chips, $40 worth of free food. So also when we put a package together for $20, a consumer can buy an $80 package. Perceived value, it's huge, because all of a sudden the casino looks at us and says, you know, that's a great idea. We can lean on your marketing list, we can lean on yours. Once again, it goes back to that Dodger thing. How do we create the demand for a destination so people use our train as a service?
Atlantic City has that. They have the Gamblers Express.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it,
Twice a day.
and I go
See
wacky.
that from New Jersey down there. Yeah, I'm gonna bring it down New York by train,
Yeah, yeah.
on the commuter line, and twice a day out of New York.
Yeah,
The
and
Gamblers
We
Express.
used to drop 20,000 a weekend.
Yeah, well, it never made it to Pennsylvania, I had to drive over to Jersey.
but you know, it goes back to that point where, you know, how do we create the demand? Because, you know, you look at, you know, and you know, maybe it's a fresh set of eyes, but you look and say, you can't always force people to try the train, because you got to ask yourself, why do they want to try the train? Wait, let's create a reason for them, let's go after that market. So we're really thinking in that sense when you look at the Dodgers, you look at the casino, you're looking at everything. You know, it's just like, you know, when I first got here, everybody said, you know, Bob, let's create a Disneyland train. I said, okay, what's that? Well, we want people to fly into LAX and get on the train and go to Disneyland. And you know, I sat there and think, you know, in concept, it's a good idea. But see, I'm a firm believer that, you know, this is what I was taught in the Ritz-Carlton day. Most people do this much planning, this much implementation, and this much rework. And you know, and what I was taught is do this much planning, this much implementation, and this much rework. And when you look at that process, one thing I was taught, take it to the end. You know, how does it impact the end result? You know, all of a sudden you start looking at it, it's a good concept, but you know, I said, you know, so you're telling me a family of four is going to get off the train, coming in from Toronto, they're going to get to the airport, they got all the bags. They get to okay, we provide a bus, takes them to the station, now people get on Metrolink, they got bags. Where do they put bags? Okay, where do they sit? Well, okay, let's figure that out. They put them on the corner, so now let's everybody ride down to Anaheim. So they get to Anaheim, they get off the train station. Where do they go? This group's staying at the Quality Inn, this one's at Disneyland Hotel, this one's at Marriott, this one's at Hyatt. I said, you know, it doesn't make sense, it's so fragmented. So let's reverse that process. Instead of trying to get people on our train, let's go to Disneyland. Let's talk to the sales team and say, you know what, I know that you guys are looking at creating you know, an opportunity out of the Toronto area. Why don't you guys offer a Toronto package? Let's market Toronto. You guys market Toronto, create that demand, and you know what we can do? You'll be able to get enough volume that let's fly them to LA, let's greet them with the Disney man, a couple of Disney characters on them. Let's take them down to Metrolink, get them on our train. Let's wrap the train, maybe put Goofy in the cart, Mickey Mouse in the front end, Tinkerbell in the back, and then let's figure out how we put a luggage cart on it. Let's take them down to Anaheim, but you know what? Instead of putting them at all the hotels since you promoted, let's put them at a Disney property. So you get one bus and you take them over to Disneyland, and they can enjoy the time. Those are the things where when you take a step back and you think about it, that's what we need to do a better job of, is really walking through the process. We do a lot of promotions, a lot of tickets, and you know, I'm looking at all our ticket programs. We got the monthly pass, we got the free pass, we got the 4 trip, we got the 10 trip, we got this. One of the challenges we run into, we haven't taken the time to go all the way to the conductor, say, what do you think this would do for you if we had this pass? We got to go through that process better. And that's the whole thing we got to do with any of the programs that we launch, because I can tell you right now, when you know, I'm a numbers guy, and you start looking at, sales is all about numbers. The more people you call, the more success you have. And you start looking at what we have right now, 20,000 people riding round trip, that's about 40,000 round trip, you know, rides. Around our area, we got 14 million people. We got 20,000 out of 14, and not everybody rides a train. You go to Los Angeles, I look around out of my office, there's about 250,000 people that work there. Okay, we got 20,000, not everybody goes to Los Angeles. You start looking at all the companies, the buildings, I'd say we got a huge opportunity to capture that business. But what we need to do is come up with a very strong strategic plan, very well thought out tactical plan, and we got to get the people on our trains. And we got to make sure once we do that we offer a great product, because it's easy to, you know, it's easy to sell them and convince them to try it, but it's difficult sometimes to keep them, because I'm the type of person, if I have a bad experience, I'm not coming back. And you know, that's the thing that we got to make sure of. The other thing we're implementing in our program right now, talk about the 118 corporate clients we have. My question that I have is, okay, what do we do to maintain this relationship? Well, what do you mean? Well, who calls some of these accounts and say, how you doing? What's going on? Can I give you anything? Do you need anything? Appreciate your business. You know anything else? We're lacking that. So, you know, we don't know what our turn rate is. And you start looking at that, and it's like, okay, you know, last 3 years, our business has gone down 3 years in a row. You got to ask yourself why. I know people will say it's the economy, but you know what? If we had 400,000 people out of 4 million and the economy hit, the numbers went, I could buy that. But when we only have 20,000 round trippers out of 14 million possible, or you know, that's hard for me to accept. And you know, we don't know our customer base well. So that's something that, you know, once again, it's the other side when you're looking at the customer engagement side. How do we get there and talk to the customers? How do we make the customer feel like, you know what, thank you very much for riding our train. Because you know what, because of you, I have a job. And that's the attitude we have to have.